Hey guys, what's going on? We need to have a chat here today and talk a little bit about the Utah real estate industry. Now, we're going to be talking about real estate agents. We're going to be talking about a couple companies that are really well known here in Utah and what's happening with those companies amid this shifting market and what's happening with prices, interest rates, all of the above. What I really want to talk about here today is some news that just came out earlier this week that was talking about Homey, which is a very popular Utah company that is now cutting staff amid this real estate market. So we're going to jump into my computer here and talk about these two different articles that are talking about these staff layoffs. And then I'm going to give you my thoughts on what's happening in the market and what we will continue to see and why there's so much importance about, in the real estate industry and working with somebody who can really get the job done for you in this crazy market and get you the best deal possible. So that being said, let's go ahead and jump into my screen. Okay guys, so I just want to run through this. Like I said, Homey is now laying off their staff, and I just want to go through some highlights that they have here. They have now, this is actually an article back from February 14th of 2022. So this is information that is now at this point roughly 8 months old. This is an article here. So it says they reduced their workforce by some 28% amid unprecedented conditions for home buyers and sellers in Utah around the country. Now, if you've been in the market looking at housing, you will know that the market back in February is drastically different than it is today, and we're going to talk about that here. Homey co-founder and CEO Johnny Hanna said the staff reductions impacted 119 employees across the company's operations in Utah, Arizona, Colorado, Idaho, and Nevada. Hanna, a veteran Utah entrepreneur, said a confluence of market conditions put the company in a position of needing to make critical changes. Record low inventories have absolutely played a role in this. So they're saying, hey, we're not seeing enough inventory levels, so this is making it really hard to buy and sell real estate, and therefore they're having to lay off a lot of employees back here in the month of February. The newfound house wealth is lessening concern among sellers about how much they're paying out in traditional real estate agent contracts, which can run as high as 6% of the home sales price. So what he's referencing here is saying, hey, Homey charges you a lower fee to get your home sold, or if you're buying a home with them, it can, they can try and save you some money. And they're basically just stating here that because homes have gone up in value, sellers are now willing to pay agents more of their home's value, up to 6% of the home sales price, in order to get that home sold. Now, there's an important part about this that we're going to talk about here in just a second. So if we come down here, there's one other part that I just wanted to mention here. It says that the newfound house wealth, Hanna said, is lessening concern among sellers about how much they're paying out in traditional real estate agent contracts, which can run as high as 6% of the home's sales price. So that being said, this is really interesting information. And basically what he's saying is that because home prices have gone up in value so much, there's now a lot of home sellers who are willing to pay those higher commission rates to real estate agents in order to get their home sold. Now, this is the thing about what's happening here in the market. Back in February, it was a time where, if you were a home seller, you could basically put your home up for sale and you'd have 5, 10, 15 offers. Even if your home was a total, piece of garbage, you'd still get offers on the house. So the market was definitely different back then. As a real estate agent selling a home back in February, it wasn't very difficult to actually get the home sold, right? The difficult part about that was negotiating the best deal for your client, which actually involved a lot of work. I remember back, earlier this year, I was working more hours than ever before, despite doing, although it's still a record number of deals, I was still spending way more time on each individual transaction than I normally would have. Just because you were selling a home, you'd get 10 offers, right? And so that's 10 different agents you have to work with. There's tons of phone calls. There's a lot of paperwork involved with that. It was a lot of work. So something I want to mention there, back in February, the market was drastically different. Now here in October, it is getting a lot harder to actually sell a home, and it's going to take a really good real estate agent in order to do that. You have to change your marketing, you have to change your presentation, and most of all, you have to change the way that you deal with potential buyers on that home. Hey, before we continue on, I want to tell you about our newsletter. This is something we've been doing for a while now, and I want you to be a part of it. You can find information to sign up for our newsletter down in the description box below. When you sign up, you're going to get a weekly email from us recapping the videos that we released this week, as well as some other news articles that were not quite worthy of an entire video to themselves. And we're also going to include other information about what's going on in Salt Lake, what it's like to work, eat, sleep, live, and in play here along the Wasatch Front. So if you want to be a part of that, make sure to go in the description box below, click that link, enter your email, and sign up. Like I said, we're not going to spam you. It's just one email a week to keep you updated on what's happening here in Utah. I'd love to see you be a part of it, and let's get back to the content. Now, as we come over to this other article, I want to read this here. Hanna announced during the Silicon Slope Summit on Friday that he would be stepping down from his role because the real estate market has been thrown into turmoil. In just the last week, they actually had to let go of 40 team members because of this extra round of layoffs. Utah's blazing real estate market has slowed, which Homey pointed out in mid-July. This same time last year, there were 3,000 active homes for sale in Utah, wrote marketing manager Nikki Hernandez, who has since been laid off. There are now 7,984 active homes for sale. More inventory means homes will sit on the market longer, a trend we are seeing in Salt Lake City. Now, this is really interesting to me because I look at this and I say, wait a minute, back in February, they're saying there wasn't enough homes for sale, and that's why they were struggling as a company and had to make these layoffs. Now they're saying, hey, there's more homes on the market and we're still struggling, so we still had to lay off people. Well, that's because that's not the actual reason why this company is not being able to succeed. It's because of the fact that ultimately they do charge a lower commission rate than a normal agent would, lower than I would charge for sure, and they're not able to make money on it, right? There's a lot of expenses, there's a lot of things that go on behind the scenes that people don't see, and that's why you get a company like Homey that comes in and they try to disrupt this industry. And I think there's always room for innovation, there's always room for change, but you really have to kind of realize that, hey, sometimes the fees that are being charged are actually realistic of what's going on in the market and a lot of the background stuff that people don't see. Anytime I get a listing, people don't think about the taxes that I pay on that commission. They don't think about my assistant charges. They don't think about the photos that I paid for, or all the time I spent driving back and forth, or all the showings, all the paperwork. They don't think about setting up the video, running this YouTube channel, doing all of the things, all of the expenses that I have and I have to pay for on my own in order to keep things moving, right? So the commission, although it may sound large on one individual deal, I think is actually a fair representation of what it costs to be an effective real estate agent, especially in this market. The other thing that I've noticed too with Homey specifically and a lot of these other flat rate brokerages is that oftentimes these agents are being paid on salary rather than commission. When you get somebody who's being paid on salary, they don't have the same incentive to go out there and sell real estate or sell the item that they're trying to sell, because it doesn't matter, right? Whether they sell it or not, they still get paid. Whereas somebody who's on commission, they're motivated to really give you a top-notch service to be able to get your business, get that home sold, or even help you buy a home in order to get paid, right? Because if they don't, they're not making money, they're not putting food on the table. So because of that, I've also found that a lot of these agents are oftentimes kind of inexperienced and don't always do their job to the best of their ability because they haven't had that experience of really having to fight for these deals to be able to get the best deal possible for their client, whether they're representing the buyer or the seller. And at the end of the day, I'll be the first realtor to tell you that, hey, look, guys, not everybody needs a realtor to go out there and buy a home. Not everybody needs a realtor to sell a home, right? I know multiple people in my life who are way more versed in real estate than I am, yet they don't have a real estate license. And if they said, hey, I'm going to sell my home, I'm going to go out there and do this, I would say, yeah, you could definitely do that, right? Just like there's going to be people out there who are accountants and might do their own taxes, right? But there's a large portion of the population who's out there that I would say, yes, you definitely need a real estate agent, just like you would need a doctor to do surgery on you, or just like you need a lawyer to represent you if you're, going on trial, or just like you need an accountant to help you with your taxes, right? So not everybody needs one, but I do think that most people need a real estate agent. And so whether you end up working with somebody like myself, you work with somebody else entirely, that's fine. I don't really care. I just want to make sure you're getting the best service possible and that I can do my job to help you if you choose to work with me personally. The thing about it is that real estate is very difficult and you have to have a lot of experience and knowledge in this world in order to be successful. And there's a reason why real estate agents and brokers have been around for over 150 years and they haven't gone anywhere yet. So with that being said, guys, I want to just kind of take a couple seconds to just toot my own horn. I don't feel like I get to do that very often, but I think now is a time where I could actually say this because I have the confidence to know that, hey, I want to be your agent. I know I can get the job done for you, whether you're looking to buy or sell real estate, maybe you're looking to invest in real estate. I know that I can be the guy to help you make those decisions to be able to maximize the best decision for your situation. And on that note, I've actually been in the top 1% of Utah real estate agents for the past 5 years. There's over 18,000 realtors in Utah, so to be among the top 1% of agents here in the state is a proud honor that I get to carry. I've helped hundreds of people right here locally buy and sell real estate, and I've also helped hundreds of people move in from out of state. I do a ton of relocation, especially over the last couple of years, and that's something that I feel very confident in being able to help somebody like yourself if you're in that situation. So the point of this video is that there's a lot of complexities in the real estate industry, and it's not easy to just get rid of real estate agents by introducing these new tech companies who are going to thrive when the market's really good, but then when the market turns, they're not going to do so hot. So whether you decide to work with somebody like myself, which by the way, my information is here on the screen, you can call, text, or email anytime. I love it when you guys reach out. You can also find my information in the description box down below, or you decide to work with somebody else entirely. That is 100% okay. I just want to make sure that you're getting the best service possible and that you're happy with the decision on which agent you've chosen to work with. So with all that being said, guys, thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed kind of this rant and a little bit of a different topic here on what's happening in the real estate industry here in Utah, what's happening with real estate agents and companies. I know that some people will really be interested in this and some maybe not so much, but if you made it this far in the video, thank you for watching. Make sure to share this video with a friend or a family member. Make sure to reach out to me if you're thinking about buying, selling, or investing in real estate here in Utah. And with all that said, I'll catch you guys in the next one.